Hello, Quesnel, and welcome to QToday. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Mitch Vick, and this is our show for February the 15th.
First, we want to again thank Fraser Mediation Services for its 2-week sponsorship of our program. And our top stories from the Observer: West Fraser commits $2.5 million to CNC Quesnel Campus. And in seniors news, the Better at Home program moves forward in Quesnel.
And coming up later in our program, we'll have Nate in conversation with Bert deVink, talking about his alter ego.
Ooh, I can't wait for that. Okay, here at QToday, we bring you the recent news provided by our partnership with the Quesnel Caribou Observer, combined with a bit of our own commentary. And we also bring you our own stories from the community. Remember, we do just give the highlights. If you want to get all the details, be sure to pick up your copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer. Now, over to my buddy here, Mitch, for some news.
Thanks, Allison.
You're welcome.
All right, in our top story, West Fraser has committed $2.5 million to the College of New Caledonia over the next 10 years. The donation will be done yearly in $250,000 installments, with all funds remaining at the Quesnel campus. In return, Phase 2 has officially been renamed the West Fraser Technical Center. And these are challenging times, CNC President John Bowman said, continuing, financial contributions are really important, really significant. It is the future of this campus. CNC and West Fraser signed an educational partnership in June 2012, which made the Quesnel campus the college of choice for West Fraser employees. At the new West Fraser Technical Center, our employees and others will be gaining high-quality skills and trades training matched to their experience, VP of Wood Products for West Fraser, Ray Ferris said. Regional Director of the Quesnel campus, Doug Larson, commented, "The CNC Quesnel campus has reached close to 170 trade students in 2012. He continued, "The strong enrollments in the millwright courses by West Fraser and other local companies bodes well for future trades training in Quesnel." In another CNC story, CNC and its architects have earned the 2012 Governor General Medal in Architecture for Phase 2 of its Quesnel campus. The West Fraser Technical Center was chosen as one of the top 12 architecture projects in Canada for 2012, out of a field of 166 projects. Not bad, eh, Allison?
It is. That's great.
The building was built by PCL Constructors West Coast Incorporated and is home to about 250 trade students in programs such as welding, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and power engineering. Wow. A little bit of kudos there. That's good stuff.
That's awesome. You bet. All right, a community meeting at the Royal Canadian Legion on January 30th brought the Better at Home program another step closer to being implemented in Quesnel this April. Better at Home is a United Way program that helps seniors live in their own homes longer by providing simple, non-medical support services. Now, Better at Home services are being delivered by local nonprofit agencies and staffed by a mix of paid and volunteer workers. The program is funded by the BC government and managed by United Way of the Lower Mainland. The range of services available varies from community to community depending on the specific needs of local seniors. Now, while some services may be offered for free, the majority of services are provided on a fee-for-service basis based on the client's self-declared household income. Several priorities and how they would be delivered included transportation to appointments and events so that seniors can access services and participate more in the community, house and yard maintenance tasks, and friendly visits and check-ins to reduce isolation of seniors and ensure that they're okay. Participants at the meeting also heard from and asked questions of community agencies who have expressed interest in delivering the Better at Home program.
That sounds like a great program, and
it really does.
Know a little bit about it. They definitely are reaching out in the community to try and find some nonprofits to work with, and I think this is really going to help our seniors in this community.
Oh, I totally agree.
Because a lot of them, they do want to remain at home as long as possible, and they just need a little bit of help sometimes in the home.
That's right. You know, and it reduces costs in our healthcare system as well. Or I guess that's the idea to try and do that.
I really hope they get it off the ground soon.
For sure.
So, Frank Sirianni, banquet manager at the Best Western Tower Inn, is proud to present the Golden Throat Karaoke Contest. Although he's not an avid singer, Sirianni says he knows there's talent in Quesnel and he intends to bring it forward. The contest started February 9th and runs for 5 weeks, featuring 6 contestants every week, culminating in the finale on March 16th. As for prizes, several sponsors have stepped up to the plate and donated gift certificates for the winning contestants, including the Mad Tatter and Carver's Clothing. As there are only 6 spots for contestants the first week and 5 for the remaining weeks, early registration is encouraged. Entry is $20 and spectators have a $10 minimum bill required while at Begbie's. If you're interested in trying it out, forms are available at the front desk at the Tower Inn. Honestly, Alison, I don't think I'll be trying that
I
out.
was just going to ask you that. You know what? Me neither. I sing in the shower and I sing in my car when I'm alone, and that's it. You will never hear me sing.
Having said all that, though, I respect anyone who has the gumption to do that.
Actually, you know what? That's not true. I did sing in public once. I was at a bonspiel in Prince George, and if someone from your table got up and sang a little song, you got to go to the buffet table faster.
That
So
might
I got up.
motivate me,
I got up with one of my friends, and we did row, row, row your boat, and we got to eat faster. So
There you
I guess
go.
there are certain circumstances that I might be into singing.
There you go.
All right, moving along. In an article titled Show Your Heart in Wednesday's Observer, Annie Gallant wrote about 2 local families who have received help from Variety, the children's charity. Garth and Lorene Witzke spoke about when their 9-year-old son Jacob was whisked to Vancouver after both the Quesnel and Prince George hospitals were unable to diagnose what was making their son progressively sicker. Jacob's condition reached the crisis point and he wasn't expected to survive, and it was at this point that the Witzkes contacted Variety. Lorraine said they knew just about from the beginning that this was going to be a financial burden to the family. Variety covered my housing costs during Jacob's 7-month rehabilitation. They were always willing to help, and I never felt they hesitated in any way, Lorraine said. And she continued, myself and my family are forever grateful to Variety for helping us in one of the darkest hours of our life. Now, another Quesnel resident, Morgan Bystad, was born with a spastic quadriplegic, as well as having a deaf-blind condition, and she has required a round-the-clock caregiver her entire life. Wendy Bystad is Morgan's grandmother, and she's the caregiver for this now 19-year-old woman. Over the years, Morgan has received assistance in different forms from Variety, and Wendy says this help has made a huge difference in Morgan's quality of life. Variety provided a wheelchair bike, which Morgan still uses today, special inserts to allow maximum comfort in her wheelchair, and most recently, Variety teamed up with 3 other charities to provide Morgan with a new Dodge Grand Caravan so that Wendy is able to better transport her. As for how she feels about Variety, Wendy unhesitatingly said she recommends Variety because of the good work they do for people with special needs children. Now, you can watch the Variety Show of Hearts telethon this weekend on Global BC, Saturday, February 16th, starting at 7 p.m. through to Sunday the 17th at 6 p.m. And if you would like to make a donation, you can call 310-KIDS or visit www.variety.bc.ca.
Great story.
It's a good cause.
Yeah, it really
good
is.
stories and definitely a great cause.
For sure. Well, the Quesnel Arts Gallery's annual February show, Art from the Heart, features the theme Heart Attack. This year, the tradition of celebrating art from the heart began more than 15 years ago and allows the public to access to display in the gallery. Gallery committee member Sybil Mushik said, this year's show has a wide variety of subjects and media, and Mushik said it's also an opportunity for established artists and regular local contributors to experiment with media they may not be at all familiar with. There are 16 artists with 36 works displayed, including felted work, oil and watercolor paintings, and even a small installation piece. If you would like to check out the Art from the Heart show, the Quesnel Art Gallery is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 to 4 in the Quesnel Arts and Rec Center on North Star Road. For more information, call 991-4014, or you can visit them online at www.quesnelartgallery.com.
Sounds interesting.
Installation. I
Yeah.
wonder what that is.
Yeah, I'd like to go just to check it out and
that
see
out,
what that
yeah.
is. All right. All right, now on to sports. Super League Curling nearly wound up their regular season last week with 4 teams securing 6 of the championship berths. The Billy Barker Casino gave Willis Harper an 11-5 beatdown. Investors Group kept their dreams alive with a 7-6 victory over A&W. Douglas Lake Equipment took out Jar Transportation 7-5. The Child Development Center barely took down Karen's Health Foods 6-5. And Frank's Supermarket handily beat Sky High Scaffolding 10-3. So this is where they stand. After 16 weeks of the regular season, the Quesnel Super League still could not decide the top 6 teams for the championship round. With 4 teams tied at 8-8, only 3 spots available, there will be a draw competition prior to the start of the playoffs. Now, Investors Group gets the bye, as they had a better head-to-head record against the other 3 teams. So A&W, Willis Harper, and Frank's Supermarket will have a throw-off to see who joins the CDC, Douglas Lake, the Billy Barker Casino, and Investors Group for the Super League Championship.
Wow.
Should be interesting. Nothing like, a throw to the button to see who gets to that last playoff spot. So
It's crazy how close it is, eh?
Yeah.
It's great.
Good season.
All right, into swimming news. 8 young wave riders challenged teams from much larger cities last weekend at the Valentine's Splash in Kamloops and came away with reams of medals and 3rd overall as a team. Lucan Armstrong, in his first ever meet, took first place in all 5 of his categories. Sonny Servienka took 5 first-place finishes and 3 second-place finishes over 9 categories. Austin Novak, another swim meet rookie, took 1 first, 3 second, and 1 third-place finish. And that's just to name a few. Check out the rest of the swim meet in the highlights in Wednesday's Observer. Whoa!
Yeah.
Dominating.
Pretty darn good, considering that 8 kids went and, like you said, against much larger other swim teams and stuff like that to get 3rd overall.
Well, what's encouraging as well is we've obviously got some rookies here that can really show their stuff and look forward to their performance in the coming years, eh?
For sure. Thanks, Mitch. Well, recently, our producer, Nate Bello, met a man who put a piece of paper in his hand and said, "Read it." Ooh, very mysterious. Nate, why don't you tell us a little bit about what was on that paper?
Thanks, guys. And this is Valentine's Day when we're shooting this. I have my red shirt on. And I was thinking, Valentine's Day, it's a day when we celebrate with our significant other, most times. But there are many people out there that have other friendships that maybe should be celebrated at this time. And the reason why I thought about that was because a few weeks ago, and this is true, a guy came up to me, just put this in my hand, and said, "Here, read this." It was at the West Park Mall. And I'd like to get in touch with that fellow again to thank him, because the poem he wrote really talks about a different side of Valentine's Day, a Valentine's Day where you appreciate friendship. So I'm going to read to you a poem that he put in my hands called Coffee Shop Shadows. Now in my life, I find that I'm sitting here with my coffee alone. The space across me is now empty, where you, my friend, have sat so long, where we have shared the news of the day or the favorite coffee shop gossip. Or I'm alone because you have moved on in life to some bigger, better thing. Or that you have become sick and you are in hospital trying to get well again. Or that you, my friend, have passed into the next life. And so I'm forced to have my coffee alone or with some newer friends, with just a shadow of memory of you in your space across the coffee shop table where I and your other friends had become accustomed to your being. Now we share in memory of you, as you no longer are in our lives to add your voice to ours. You have become a coffee shop shadow, and I am one too. And so this story is our story, the coffee shop shadow. So with that, if that fellow who put this piece of paper in my hands a couple weeks ago wants to get in touch with me, maybe you have some other poems that we'd like to share. Thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Nate. I guess the poem Nate read shows that there are different kinds of relationships we can celebrate on Valentine's Day.
You bet.
Moving along, next we have another installment of Susan McNeil's Stop, Shop, and Save in Quesnel. This time Susan speaks with Sandy, the Chime Lady. Let's take a look.
Good day, Quesnel. It's Susan McNeil here with our home-based business segment for our show, Q Today. And I have with me Sandy, the chime lady, as she's known in Quesnel. So welcome, Sandy.
Thank you.
We're so glad you're here
Yes.
today. And you're new to me, so I'm very much intrigued by everything that you have here.
Okay.
And would just like to know a little bit about how did you get started in this?
Well, I guess it was about 2004. I was living in Vernon, and I was going to a lot of antique stores because I like antiques. And I just saw so many old silverware and teapots and cream and sugars, and I thought, what the heck can I do with those? And I just added a little bit of bling to them, and my wares popped out. And then I sort of stopped for, oh gosh, a couple of years when I moved up to 100 Mile, and then I moved to Quesnel, and I've started it again. So I've been to a few craft sales and stuff in Prince George and in Quesnel.
Okay.
So I'm kind of getting my name out there, and I'm also in the Caribou Keepsake.
Oh, you are. So we can get
yes.
to you locally.
Yes, I'm at New Good For You in Planet 2, and in the spring I go to 10 Mile Nursery, and Moose Meadows sells them at the farmers market.
Oh, they do. Oh, well,
Yes.
how wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're very diverse, and you've got a
Yeah.
lot of locations
I
around
do,
town.
yes.
So no wonder Quesnel knows of you as the chime lady,
Uh-huh.
and you certainly do some beautiful work. So could you show us the
Yes, this
inverted
is-
teapot here?
This is one I made up, and it just, when the wind catches the silver, it kind of echoes through the whole teapot kind of thing. And I've also gone to making my salt and pepper shakers, just some bling on them, and they
Oh,
kind of just
that's what
dangle.
they
And or
are.
I'll
Okay.
I'll hang silverware on there too, rather than
Oh,
just
I
the
see.
beads.
Okay.
And then this is just a dream catcher. I made a dream catcher out of that one. So
Okay,
yeah.
very nice.
hang on the wall or outside in the garden, and I find most of my stuff, you know, at garage sales or online. I also find word of mouth. People say, "Oh, I've got some at home. I'll sell you," and I'm like, "Okay, phone me."
Oh my goodness! So you're like the recycled
Yes,
chime lady.
there you go.
Oh my gosh!
And
well,
if anybody's got a real nice piece they'd like and they don't want to give it up, I'll make something up for them.
awesome.
make
Well,
it
that's very
for you.
good because
Yes.
I'm a silver collector myself,
Are you?
and I have some
Yeah.
dating back to the 17 and
Okay,
1800s.
there you go.
And I'm getting a little tired of the polishing all the silver all the
Yeah,
time. So
that's the trouble.
when I knew you were coming on the show, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what could I do with some of my silver? So I will be giving you a call.
I do clean them up once and then I let them tarnish, and
Yes,
it kind of looks
okay.
nice to tarnish too.
So Sandy, give us your phone number and
Yeah.
where else we might find you. I hear you're on Facebook, are you?
I'm on Facebook, and my email is Sandy, SANDY421 at hotmail.com, or my phone number is 249-9677, area code 250.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, we're looking
Thanks.
forward to seeing you and your wares for sure in the farmers
Thank you.
market. So
yeah, for sure this spring.
thank you so much for coming,
Thanks.
and we'll see you in the park.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Quesnel.
Did you see that display, Mitch?
Holy,
That
amazing.
was. That was fantastic.
Yeah, very well done.
All right, so as mentioned at the top of the show, next we have Nate in conversation with Frederick Fufflefinger. Who's Frederick, you might ask? Well, let's take a peek.
Hi, thank you very much, Mitch and Ellison. I'm here with Bert deVink. Hi, Bert.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Bert, as you may know, I have a Master's of Education.
Oh, really?
And that means that qualifies me to be a psychiatrist. And I understand that you have a bit of a problem, Bert, because you're not always Bert.
No, I have to agree with that, unfortunately. Yeah, I have a problem in as much as that I have an alter ego.
An alter ego.
Yeah.
That is Latin for another person inside you.
Yeah, it comes
I've kind
up.
of thought about that. You look a little bit by something. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Okay, that's all right.
However, yeah.
Tell me
it's-
about it. We're going to cure you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
It started when I was about 13 years old. That's the only thing the first thing I can remember when I was about 13. And I was in school, and in Holland we have to have 3 languages beside Dutch, and there's French, English, and German.
Right.
And there was a German textbook, and in the textbook was a really strange story about hands.
Hands.
Hands. No, H-A-N-S.
Oh, Hans.
Hans.
Okay,
Anyway,
right.
Hans
Yes.
is a little guy. He sits in his room and he comes from somewhere, I guess. And he looks outside and he says, "Mommy, Mommy, the church tower has fallen down." And
Right.
his mom says, "No, Hans, that is the mist."
The mist.
The mist.
Yes.
The fog.
That's right.
And so that was the part. And the next day we were in school and the teacher asked me, he said, "Well, Bert, what do you think is the reason that Hans thought the church tower has fallen down?" And that's where Frederick, my alter ego, came in. And he
Oh.
made me say, "Because Hans is stupid and he lives in a fog."
Oh, I see. So
So-
you were kind of,
Yeah.
you were a little bit abrupt with the teacher who you should have been a little bit more
Yeah,
polite to.
Yeah,
But your alter ego came out
that's
at
correct.
that time, and his name
Yeah.
was Frederick.
Frederick, yeah. At that time he was Frederick.
Yes.
And then later on, as things progressed, he said to me, Frederick, sort of mumbling inside, "Hey, you have got two names, like I want a last name too."
So you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden Frederick starts to come out
Yeah,
and talking to Bert.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, yeah. Then he
Yeah.
said he wants a second name. He wants a last name.
Yeah, the last name
Okay.
is Fuffelfinger.
Fufflefinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty strange, isn't it?
Fufflefinger is a strange name.
It's weird. Well, anyway, so I started to think about it, and
Yeah,
I looked
yeah.
at my little finger, my ring finger, my pointer
right.
finger, and that was...
Okay, thanks, Bert. Okay, you can't. We're on television, Bert. That is Frederick Fufflefinger coming
yeah.
out right now.
Yeah, I was just
Well,
gonna say
okay,
that
never
that is my
mind, never mind,
Fuffelfinger.
never mind. Okay, so we have the idea Frederick is a little bit of a rude scoundrel.
Yeah, he is rude, crude, and uncouth.
Okay, any other examples for me before I give you your cure?
Well, I was hoping we would talk a bit more than that. There's a lot more in there.
Okay, give me
Because-
some examples.
Okay,
Okay,
another example, and this happened in Canada. I was at a party,
right?
and it was one of those parties where you have half a glass of wine and a piece of cheesecake, you know, and you stand there. And so I was standing there by the doorway and so kind of bored, and this guy walks up and said, "Are you Bert deVink?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "You're Dutch, aren't you?" I said, "No, I'm Canadian." And he ignored that. And so...
Because you had been in this country for many years.
Oh, for sure. you
Okay.
know, I'm a Canadian. So he said, "You're a Canadian." I said, "I'm Canadian." And then he ignored that and he said, "Well, ha ha ha. So you must be the little guy with the finger in the dike." And that's when little Frederick came up and Frederick said, "It wasn't my finger, sir."
Oh, so what? Oh, never mind. Okay, I get the idea.
Thank you.
No, okay.
Thank you.
All right. So this Frederick Fufflefinger has been a problem to you.
It has been a big problem. Yeah, he has been a big problem. He also makes life really difficult for me.
Yes. Yes.
You know, he always comes up at the most unexpected times with weird little things. Like he is interruptive. He interrupts my life.
Oh, he does. Like you're
Yeah.
just going along, being Bert deVink,
Yeah.
everything's smooth, and then
And
all of a sudden, bang!
there is
Right.
Fuffelfinger.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And Frederick Fuffelfinger also hates politically correct things.
Politically correct thing. So
Yeah.
he likes to tell it as it is.
Yeah.
Damn the torpedoes.
You know, so if somebody would say, for instance, and this is an example, if he would say somebody passed away, Frederick would say, "Which way?"
Right.
You know,
Instead of
that is
yeah.
crude. That's rude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could hurt people.
Yeah, I
He
know,
passed
and-
away. Which way? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awful. You know.
And then
Yeah. And the other thing is when to Frederick somebody is dead, 6 foot under, looking at the flowers from underneath,
Yeah.
that kind of a stuff. you
Yeah.
know. But if you get in political correct language and say there is an unmoving, cold, horizontally challenged body there,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
Frederick would say, "Hey, where's the electric blanket?"
Right. Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, he just gets in your way of being kind of a calm, diplomatic person. That Bert is. Frederick's the opposite.
Compared to me,
Okay.
he is uncouth. He is a miserable little infection. Oh, I
Okay.
hate,
So
I hate Frederick.
so Bert, I'm
Yeah.
afraid at this. Maybe you could give me one more example, but I'm not sure if I could cure you in one session.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, let's put the thing then. I was really peeved off. I had a telephone conversation. I
Right.
should tell you.
Okay,
I had
okay,
a telephone
okay. Yeah,
conversation. And the telephone rang, and there's a voice that, "Is Mr. deVink there?" And Frederick came up, and Frederick said, "Where is there?"
Okay, so is he there?
Yeah.
Is it, okay.
Yeah. Where is there?
Yeah.
And
So-
so the guy said, "Could I speak to Mr. deVink, please?" Mr. deVink has spoken. By that time, the guy got peeved off, and he said, "What are you on, Mr. deVink?" "I'm on the Chesterfield. And you?" Well,
Bert.
he hung up. And then I got really mad at Frederick because,
Right.
you know, I could have won a big prize or something.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You know, I could have sold something.
Yeah.
And he interfered in that, and I was really big. And so I got so mad, I'm sorry to say, I mentally choked the guy.
Mentally choked.
Mentally choked him.
Okay.
And then I felt really bad about it, so I lit a candle in his honor,
Okay. Yes.
you know. And I lit the candle, and I'm sitting there with the candle, and then I got hot under my collar again.
Yes.
And the reason was that I held the candle too close, and
Okay.
my shirt went on fire.
Okay. Okay. Bert.
Yeah.
But I would like to help you. You have your friend, but I think we have to hear a little bit more from Frederick another time. So I'm going to ask you to come back and visit me another time, and maybe tell me more of Frederick
Fufflefinger.
Fungal, yes, fungal
Fufflefinger,
finger.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more next week, maybe, or the week after. Okay.
I was hoping we'd go a bit further than that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
understand.
Thank you very much, Bert. Thank you very
Okay,
much. Back to you
fine.
guys.
Thanks again, Nate and Bert. Frederick. Sorry about that. Before we take a look at the community calendar, we would like to thank the Lions for their continued support and remind you that their monthly garage sale takes place on Saturday, February 23rd at the Maple Park Mall. And now let's take a look at our community calendar.
Well, that's it for this show. We want to hear from you with your story and your comments on our show. How do you think we're doing here at Q today? Remember, whatever you think is important, we think is important. So email us at qtoday@qcatv.ca with your story, or ask us to cover a story that you just know that the community would love to hear more about.
And also, we just one last thank you to Fraser Mediation Services for sponsoring our show for the last 2 weeks.
And remember,
Q Today is about
Quesnel talking to Quesnel. Bye for now.